Hey, what's up? You're watching Soundwaves TV. I'm Shasta. Excited to have Brandon and Pat from Evolution Eden on with us. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us. Excited to be here.
So nice to see you. You've got a big album dropping. It is here. Dun, dun, dun. You've had a great video launch in the last couple weeks. So tell us about getting to this place where your baby is launching into the world. Does it feel like that a little bit?
Yeah, it does. You know, we've worked on this album for 2 years, mostly over the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to finally put it to bed and share it with the world and, you know, hope that everybody enjoys the hard work that we put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 years plus. And, you know, some of those ideas are even older than that. You know, there's stuff that little pieces of songs that we come up with and file away. And then it's neat to be like, oh, like 10 years later, here's that song.
Yeah.
That we didn't even like the idea at the time. And now it's like, oh my God, look at this. So
sometimes I'm sure it takes time to evolve into something, or maybe circumstances have to happen in your life for it to come to fruition.
Yeah, particularly with the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, we're real sticklers on lyrics.
You really are. I'm going to touch on that.
Yeah, so we try to get the words as perfect as we can, and so we'll agonize over that when maybe we
with our limited vocabulary. You know, it's hard to get too creative with.
Yeah, when you only know 2-syllable words, it's pretty tough.
Well, not everybody's rushed. We're not going crazy deep here,
exactly.
and no, you guys. I'm glad you pointed that out because your lyrics always hit me. I think of you guys as nostalgia rock. You're one of those bands, and there are very few that I can think of that come across my desk and go, gosh, I feel like I've listened to them forever. And I think it's because you take on things like a first kiss, or, you know, the first dating period, or having a ruckus night, or having a baby and holding a baby for the first time. Like, you know, and you make that rock and roll, which I think is really fascinating. So the lyric do you start with the lyrics? Is that what's, I hate to say most important, it's like choosing a baby, but is that where the song starts?
I don't know. I would say
melody.
Sometimes titles, oftentimes.
Really?
You know, before we started this interview, we were laughing about that. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make a note of that.
Because I was coming up with dumb titles.
So we build off of that sometimes. Okay. Or Brandon will have a riff or something, and it's just like, oh, that sounds cool. Mm-hmm. What would go with that, you know, as a song?
Yeah.
And so I guess it kind of comes all ways. I don't know. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, I think it just depends. Sometimes, like with the first single, Blood Runs Wild, we had the title and we thought,
love this song.
That was great.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, let's write a song around that. What's it about? I don't know.
Well, where did the title Blood Runs Wild come from?
You know,
it just out of the ether? Thank you, universe.
It dropped in our lap and like, oh, what are we going to do with this?
That's cool.
And then we just kind of came up with the riff.
Yeah.
And then kind of that chorus of just the, you know, Blood Runs Wild. And then we just wrote everything around it. We usually, when we are going to sit down and write a song, we'll talk about what's the story we want to tell. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of why we named the album Sonic Cinema.
Yeah.
Is because we do 4-minute movies. Like that's
movies in your head.
Yeah,
too.
Movies in your
Even
head.
if you're not watching the music video, you're painting a very vivid, again, nostalgic picture for yourself.
Yeah, and that's what we definitely try to do. So,
well, congratulations, you're doing it. That's a big deal. Whenever a riff comes to you, or let's say a name or a lyric, if it comes to you in the middle of the night, what's your process? Do you jump up and jot it down? Do you put it in your phone? Do you hum a riff into an audio note? Like, what do you do?
That's probably more me than Brandon.
Yeah.
So my ideas, when I get them, I a lot of times it might just be, I don't know, like picking through on the guitar. Like sometimes it means electric guitar, but not plugged in.
Yeah.
But the phone will still pick it up, and then I'll sing a verse that I might have, and I send it to them, you know, before we go too far, because, you know, we ultimately always agree on what we're going to put out. So I, you know, give it the first test, like, hey, I've got this idea. What do you think? And if he likes it, I'll hear right away. Like, oh yeah, that's good. And if not, it'll be a slower response.
I was gonna say, is it a passive aggressive way of being like, I don't like
it? Like, I know if he likes it or not. So, so if I don't get a real solid response, I'll just sort of leave it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But there's been times where I think what I've given him will inspire him, and he'll come up with something, and it might be a year later, and he'll say, remember that thing you sent to me? And I'll be like, no. He's like, well, here's that riff. I just flipped these chords, and we added this, and I'm like, oh, well, that sounds really good. So I do it, more that way. He's better at like a complete painting the picture. He's the architect.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, okay, boom. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
Wow.
And,
so you're more lightning in a bottle idea, and you kind of flesh it out.
I think so.
That's cool.
Think Brandon's
slow burn.
Yeah,
slow burn.
More
Okay.
structured, and he'll think of things I don't. He's like, well, if we do that, or he'll even say one time, well, remember this song? We kind of touched on that on our first record. I'm like, yeah, well, you're right, we did. Like, we try to be original as much as possible,
which is so hard to
and
be
still
original
sing
every
about
time.
love and breaking up and all those things. Like,
All the relatable, nostalgic, get to you moments in life. By the way, slow burn, that's a good one. Do you have that as a title?
Slow burn,
You should,
there we go.
jot it down. I'm like, that's a good. That sounds like a warming up to like sexy time. Kinda, that's your bluesy vibe. There
I think
you go.
we already got half of the next album ready to go.
I can. Yeah, I know, right? I'm here to help.
we got all the titles.
You got co-writing credit.
Yes. Just need a shout out on the sleeve somewhere. It's funny because I was talking to, I hate to be this person, I hate to name drop. I was talking to Metallica one time, but the conversation is relevant here. They were talking about how they do that in their phone. Like they'll hum or write something in that way in their phone. And then they lost like 400 songs doing that because they didn't have it backed up. They didn't really have a system. Maybe they didn't send it to each other or whatever. Does that ever scare you, or do you feel pretty good that you've got everything saved? Because I'm like, if I think of something, I'll forget it in 2
I don't know if we're
minutes.
that prolific. But yeah, I don't do whatever's on this phone. I mean, I could probably scroll through some stuff and go, oh, and that made it to one of our records. It's still on.
Oh,
there.
that's cool.
And sometimes I'll listen and go, wow, it ended up pretty much just like what we did.
Do you have a Patreon?
No.
You should have a Patreon, and then that's the stuff you put on your Patreon. This song that you love, this is the riff it started out as, right?
Okay.
That's like the bonus content. See, I'm here for marketing help.
Yeah, that's what we need. Yeah.
We're learning a lot.
Actually, I have better ideas for you than I do for us. Dennis, I'm sorry about that. I'll think of something for us too.
Yeah, on this album, we actually had a Google Drive, and then we just had a file where we just dumped song ideas.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's kind of, so anything he would send me, guys, it's in the drive. It's in the drive.
We
it's
have
in
that
the
too.
drive.
We call it the mothership.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's the drive.
It's in the mothership.
We throw
Yeah,
it there.
okay.
And so the ideas are there. So you'll see some of the things, and you might be made up lyrics or, just
it might be
making
like
stuff
title, lyrics only, lyrics and riff, and we kind of get to the end. We're like, wow, this is like almost a full song. Do we all like it? Should we finish it and really record it properly and try to sing it as best we can?
It's a very 2023 way to write a song, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not as dramatic.
It's not
as
a
it sounds.
notepad
like
and
just lightning in a bottle. Not really. You
Yeah.
have to, you have to build it.
That's very cool. I'm getting you guys fresh off of playing with the rock and roll icon. Hello, Ace Frehley. How was that? Holy, at the Canyon Club, which, by the way, I used to live in LA. I used to be the voice whenever you would call the Canyon Club. I'd be like, hello, thank you for calling the Canyon Club.
nice.
Blah, blah, blah.
All right.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, we love the
heyday.
Canyon Club. Yeah.
It's a pretty cool spot. I saw
Yeah.
Ted Nugent there. Actually, I walked out of a show. This is a long story about a deer on a video screen blowing up the whole thing.
yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so I hope your experience was better.
Ace
but-
didn't do that.
Good. I'm glad to
He
hear
just
that.
blew up a guitar.
Oh,
but
perfect.
nothing
That I
else.
can handle.
Yeah.
That I'm here for. How was it meeting him, playing with him, playing on that stage, feeling that energy?
Well, it was a typical Ace Frehley moment. We were down there in the storm of the century.
Yeah, you really were.
And Ace was about 90 minutes to 2 hours late.
I was afraid of that.
Yeah. So he literally got out of the van, walked onto the stage, played, got in
Walked
the
right
van,
back.
and walked back. So we saw him in the hallway. Hey guys, and then that was about the extent. It was very typical Ace, but we know Matt Starr, his drummer,
Yeah.
so we were able to talk with him.
Oh,
and
that's
he's just
nice.
a super cool guy.
That's cool.
So it was great, and for I think I can speak for both of us. Ace Frehley's the reason why we play.
Jesus.
I mean, Kiss.
It was Kiss,
Right, yeah.
and so
That comes up often on Soundwaves, by the way. A lot of people say something about this.
and so if you would have told the 7-year-old kid who discovered Kiss, you're going to be opening for Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
it would have been over. So it was
that's
amazing.
crazy.
It was amazing, and great crowds always down there.
Okay, that's good. How did that come together? How do you get on a bill with Ace Frehley? I mean, that's a really big deal.
You just have to ask. I mean,
pretty
that's
much.
really what it comes down to.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to go big.
And I think
Yeah,
you
that's
have
great.
to know how to formulate a proper email.
Sure. Valid.
You know, so
Yeah.
so you got to know the right things to say, and
Yeah.
what does a booker want to hear?
Sure.
Yeah. So what can I do for you? Is really what it is. So, so yeah, I think that's just how it is. We just hey, we'd like to do it, and a lot
We've
of times
been down
they
there
go,
many
"Yeah."
times, so they know that we're going to play on time within the amount of time. They're not going to have to pull the plug on us.
You mean be professional?
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I
we're,
mean-
we're not going to, knock over the headliner's drum set or kick
Unplug
in,
their amps.
that kind of stuff, because that's what they worry about that.
That's valid.
So, and we meet our obligation, whatever they'd like us to sell, we take care of that. So, business wise, it's a win-win for them.
And so much of this industry is about everything you just said: business, being professional, being respectful of the venue and the artist that you're going on a stage with.
Right.
It's so much of that and important.
Yeah, you need to know your job. Like,
Yeah.
We're there to get the crowd pumped for the headliner. Like
Yeah.
that's our job.
Sure.
So, we got to make their blood run wild.
So you guys have done this for a while. You know what you're doing there.
So, that's what we're there for. We've got to get the audience engaged so that they're ready to have a good time when the headliner comes on, and hopefully we make some fans in the process.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, we played. Sorry,
you're
Chuck, but
fine.
just one point on that was we played in Concord a few months ago, and it was, I can't think of the guy's name, but someone who booked the show.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, he came over and he said, "I've never played with a band that actually started on time and ended on time." He was
probably true.
literally, but he wasn't joking. He
Yeah.
was shocked, and we said, "Well, you said to start at 8:30 and be done by 9:20 or whatever
Yeah.
the set was." And when we know the set list, literally we go that many.
Yeah.
Like when we play these smaller shows, like at the Whiskey, you get 30 minutes. We're the only band that plays 8 songs.
Wow.
If you count them, every other opening band, max of 7, but usually 6.
Yeah.
We play 8.
You maximize your time.
boom,
Yeah,
we
that's
get us,
great.
So,
Smart.
Yeah, we want them to hear as much as we can.
Yeah.
So no overblown solos or, hey man, talking and,
Yeah.
a
Staring
little
at
bit.
your shoes,
Yeah.
tuning your guitar.
Yeah. It's like, it's out of tune. Just keep going, man.
Yeah, like,
we're on a clock.
We rehearse, the in between banter, and like the show
Smart.
runs like a Broadway. You go up there and everybody in the band knows exactly what's going to happen.
That's great. I love hearing that.
And then
It's
it
super
doesn't,
important.
but at least you have a plan.
You got a
it never
plan.
does, yeah.
The plan always changes, but you have a plan. I'm not being rude with my phone out. I never ever have my phone out whenever I'm talking in an interview. But I saw this review for you guys, and I just thought, wow, this must feel really good. I mean, somebody just raving about everything that you do. You're delivering everything, the goods tenfold, dynamic performances. I mean, it's just really, really lovely to see something like this. Specifically pointing out Love's Got a Mind of Its Own, Music Man, Bad Habit I Don't Want to Break. How does it feel when you see something like this? Are you afraid when a review comes out to click it? Like, I won't go on YouTube and read comments. Are you afraid oh God, I'm going to click that. Hopefully it's good. But then you get something like that and it's glowing.
I think that at this point, if you're a musician, you have to take the good with the bad.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's one person who loves you and thinks you're fantastic, there's another person who thinks you're terrible.
Yeah.
So we just roll with it. We know that there's going to be people that like what we do, and there'll be people that don't like what we do. But we're still going to give them 100%. And, so yeah, I mean, I think we take the good and the bad. We understand that don't let the ego get too big.
Yeah, yeah.
So while this feels good when somebody gives you a glowing review, there's somebody else probably right now writing, "Oh, this is the worst band on the planet." And
We've had that too.
Everyone does.
Words like, "Oh, that's so." Boilerplate or unoriginal or whatever. I'm just excited that we're getting reviewed. Like someone's listening to our music. The whole point we put it out there is you hope people listen to it. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, I don't like everything I hear either.
But that's why I bring it up. There are so many bands out there that don't get reviewed. And as creative people, I'm not a musician, but I am a storyteller on the radio and on television, and I do this. It's an art form, right? And so sometimes you can be a little precious about it, I think, or maybe I'm speaking for myself here, but I think sometimes you can be precious about it. But it's so good to just go, I'm not going to be for everybody. I'm going to be for these people and not these people. And when reviews come out, the good and the bad. I think you nailed it there.
I think a reaction is better than,
Oh, that's good.
you
That's
know,
a good
like,
point. Yeah.
hey, feel passionate about it or hate it. I just don't want anybody to be like,
It's so great. It's so catchy. I mean, the new single that just came out, a music video, which we're about to see, directed by our boy, Mike Sloat. We've had him on. In fact, we devoted a whole episode to Mike. He is so fantastic. Did you guys know him well, and have you worked with him many times before?
Yeah.
This was our third time.
Third time.
Yeah,
Okay,
third
I
time.
thought you had.
And fun fact, first time he's used a drone in a video was on our video.
Ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was playing with it, and he's like, I've never used this, guys. I'm like, well, here's our idea. Try this. And he actually, it ended up being in there. Yeah. He almost lost it, though. Remember? He's like, where is it?
Yeah.
Because it gets, they're tiny, and they get far enough away, you literally can't see them.
Yeah, but it's the effect is so great.
Yeah,
when you
great.
get it, it's so
It's
good.
a little intimidating, though, when you hear, I've never used a drone before, and the first shot is about 6 inches from my face with it
Spinning in front of your-
spinning in front of my face, and then it takes off.
Dude.
But he's like, yeah, sing the song. Don't worry about it. And I'm
As
like,
I'm trimming your beard with a drone.
yeah, it's like, okay.
You trust Mike Sloat, though.
Yes.
I think that's the starting point for everybody. Is he's so fantastic, such a great dude, and does great work, obviously. In
Yeah,
your
he
videos.
does. It's interesting because the first time we worked with him, he came out, he did some stuff. We didn't really know what to tell him. We didn't tell him much.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what it would look like. And we liked what came out. And then the next time we had like more of a plan. So he's like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. If you know him, it's,
He's very
that
casual.
sounds all right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try that. And then this one, same thing. I'm like, hey, I'm going to stand on top of the car and try. He's like, okay.
Okay,
Let's try
do
that.
it.
And then once he edits it, that's the thing, because you can't tell in
Right.
the moment. It's just like, all right, that's good. Stop there. And we're like, okay.
Okay, if he says so.
I got anything in my teeth?
Yeah.
No, everything's good. Everything's good. And then you get the cut and you're like, wow, that's like, how do you get that all chopped together like
It's
that?
a miracle. Dennis does it. He makes me look like I know what I'm doing
So
all the
it's,
time. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's an art form. So,
Yeah.
and I think having a nice professionally done video for a band like us really can set you apart.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's not an inexpensive endeavor, so I know why bands like us don't do it often.
Right.
But it's worth it. And
Yeah.
the way we look at it is we're not able to tour the world, but a video, anyone in the world could see it.
Yeah, and you get a long life out of it. And
Yeah,
it has
I
a
think
great
so.
shelf life.
So-
and I love that you pulled the cinematic theme, if you will, of the album into it with the drive-in movie theater.
He got really excited about that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he even scouted like locations and, okay, we're doing it out in like Clear Lake
Yeah,
or
we had to
something.
go out to Lake County.
I thought that's
Yeah.
where you were. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
thought
were.
I saw you say that on Instagram or something.
Yeah. So,
That's way the F out here, if you don't know. Yeah.
Oh, the driving was wonderful.
But worth it. Worth
Yeah,
it.
it was worth. It came out great, and he's a super creative guy, and he's like the fifth member of the band when it comes to being able to do the videos. Like, he's just the nicest guy to work with.
That's great to hear. Well, tell everybody where to get the new album. Make sure everybody knows where to find you.
Go for it.
Well, Lion's Pride. Should I look in the camera? One of these
Sure,
cameras?
yeah, whatever you
So
wanna do.
Lion's Pride Music is our label. So just search them on the internet.
Everywhere.
I mean, yeah,
Google
pretty
it.
much
It's
everywhere.
going to be on iTunes, Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, all those places.
Yeah.
And then evolutioneden.com, we're hoping to get some physical copies.
Great.
They took the time to make the 8-page booklet, so,
Yeah.
with all the lyrics and all the credits and all the
Fantastic.
goodies, right?
I love that
so
stuff. Yeah.
I love
The stuff
that
we grew
too.
up with.
Yeah, I mean, I like
Holding
the
it,
LP and
yes.
it and,
Yep.
my son grabs the CDs and he like smells them like,
Oh, that's funny.
he loves it, so it's like, so yeah.
I never knew that. That's new information.
Well, he did. He's like, he loves CDs.
That's how I feel about vinyl, so I get it.
Exactly.
I don't know why people bring back cassette tapes. I'm like, unless it comes with a pencil.
I was never that big of a fan.
But
at the
it's
time,
back,
but-
I guess. So
yeah.
whatever. Evolution Eden. I'm on Instagram most. I follow you guys there. I love the little selfie videos that you guys do. It's cool, and it's great to see you guys coming on up. Ace Frehley, what's next? Stay tuned. We'll see.
Yeah, we're booking shows, so
That's
we'll see what
great.
happens. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see the new video, shall we?
All right. Thank you
Blood
so much.
Runs Wild. It's Evolution Eden on Soundwaves TV.